Live by Night stars Ben Affleck and is directed by Ben Affleck and stars him, Sienna Miller, Brendan Gleeson, Chris Cooper, and Zoe Saldana. It is a story of Joe Coughlin, who is a World War I soldier, who, after coming back from the war, he joins a crime organization and he helps them do racketeering businesses and other criminal activities, and works for a mobster who's also a rival member who has another gangster who's a rival to him. And so Ben Affleck plays Joe Coughlin, who's a criminal who falls in love with a girl played by Sienna Miller, and after them two fall in love, there's a situation that goes down that involves with Joe Coughlin deciding if he wants to continue with the life that he has. And so I've been looking for this movie for a while because I've come to grow with a lot of films that Ben Affleck has directed, especially from The Town, Argo, and I haven't seen all of Gone, but I've seen parts of it, and it shows that it's come to show that Ben Affleck as a director, he really has shown himself in Hollywood
I think
director.
he's underrated. I think that he needs. I mean, I love him when he's acting, but I think that he really needs to get behind the screen more too, because a lot of this. I mean, I haven't seen much of Gone Baby Gone earlier. I mean, like you have, so I got to go back to watch that again. But The Town and the other one he did, Argo, were fucking magnificent films.
Yeah, they were, and it shows that...
It shows that he's really talented. He can be up there in Oscars.
Yeah, and it shows that he knows the right... Because those two films also dealt with real-life stories involving events that occurred with, bank robberies and real-life hostage situations. So it shows that he likes those kind of time period kind of movies where the characters are set in this area, and he plays, in every film besides Gone Be Gone, he plays a central role in that situation. Yeah. And so with this one, it showed that he's taking place in the 1920s at first, where it's in the Prohibition Era, and we see that throughout the film, he's trying to decide whether or not he wants to continue this life as a gangster, and along the way, there's some other things that come up that questions himself whether he wants to have redemption or not.
Well, they have the... And then while he's doing that, he's going back and forth where he's going to be with the Irish mob or the Italian mob.
Yeah, because there's an all-out war going on between them. There's a rivalry between them two. And
one conflict leads to Ben Affleck want to join this gang, and he's want to pay back somebody else, and then he gets fucked over. It's a typical gangster film.
Yeah, and I got to tell you right now, when going into this film, I saw some of the reviews that came out, and I was kind of surprised because it seemed like they got kind of mixed reviews from this.
This is my first time ever seeing a Ben Affleck directed film that's kind of gotten negativity. Not saying it's fully negative, it's mixed like he said, but I've seen a lot of negative for this film. Yeah. I'm like, oh man, this kind of worries me, because I was really looking forward to this, because it's kind of it has that Gone Girl look, and it's like a Dick Tracy if you were to shoot it like Gone Girl, like really high cinematography. And that's what one of my pros is on the cinematography. Yeah. Okay,
with my pros with this film, I really loved Ben Affleck's direction in this, especially how he captures the time period with the 20s and the 30s as well, and a lot of the different locations with how he captures the sets, the costumes, the cars that they drive. He really captures the Prohibition Era really well in this film.
Yes,
he does. He also is able to capture a lot of well-done gunfights, especially car chases, especially at the beginning when we see a great car chase that goes down.
It's weird seeing car chases with them old school cars.
I know, but it was pretty great.
It's different and it's pretty cool. Like you said, all performances were like amazing in this film. Everybody nailed the performance. Ben Affleck was amazing. Cinematography was beautiful.
Oh yes,
and he did capture this time period very, very well.
Yeah, and I also got into the story for about the first half, how the situation going down where at first you're just seeing the rivalry between the two gangs, or the two mafia members, and you're seeing the inner conflict that's happening between them two, along with the love story involving Affleck and Sienna Miller, which got me invested in what was happening. And I also really enjoyed the score, too. The score they play kind of has like like a dark kind of film noir feel to it that really captures the mood of what you're getting into.
Film,
yeah. And I also enjoyed the narration, how they added a lot of layers to what Affleck's going throughout the film gives you that old school kind of 20s vibe.
Yeah.
You know, they seem like pulp magazines and stuff.
And you see him rise to a big empire in this one, from low key guy building himself up.
Yeah.
And
I do also like the brutality in it too. Like now, there's not like a whole lot of brutality, but when the gunshots go down, you really do see a lot of the impact that it has, because you see a lot of guys getting shot in the head, thrown off rooftops and all that,
in their
faces. Yeah,
like that dude got thrown off the rooftop. That shit was graphic as fuck. And
he splatters
everywhere. See how a dude gets shot right here, and you see like the kind of, it's not just bloody, but it's like chunks of guts and stuff hanging out of his mouth. But like he said, he liked the first half. I liked some of the first half. Then I started losing interest, and I'll get to that in a second. But then I liked second half a lot. But then there were some parts I was getting kind of bored with that. I mean, this movie, we'll get to our cons here in a second about, and I'll explain my.
But I can say that it feels like the film is two different movies. The first half feels like, you know, it is your straightforward gangster film. But I do like the whole feel of it, because it gives it a lot of layers with how much these two gangs are having rivalry, and Ben Affleck is the center of both of them. Kind of like, well, not to compare, but it's in a similar way to how they did with, remember Lucky Number 11? When he's having to deal with two different gangs
while he's getting the girl.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but more dramatic.
Yeah.
So this film deals with a lot of themes involving redemption, and I liked at first. I liked the second half how they resolved that, because there is some cool twists in the film too that I really enjoyed. Not going to go into detail with, that really got to me. But now here,
especially I like the ending.
Yeah, the ending.
Where I'm not going to say it, but you know,
that was pretty intense.
That was pretty good. Like what he did.
Yeah, and so here we now get to our cons. Now, after the first half, I felt like the film switched gears on me, and it started to go into a point where it started doing a lot of things that the way it was structured was kind of getting a little not like too boring, but the pacing kind of dragged too much in a lot of scenes, where there are scenes with Affleck and his partner, and they're going to do all these different business deals, and those scenes are fine because they add some comedy into them, but I feel like they overdid them because we just seen the same thing going repeatedly in every single part, and it got kind of boring for me.
I agree with him on that. This movie was really I enjoyed the film, but there's a lot of padding, a lot of dialogue, and some of the dialogue, a lot of the dialogue is good, but then some of it, a lot. I'm losing interest in pieces and stuff. They drag, like some of the dinner scenes with the girls. I can get maybe a few minutes, get some of the good dialogue, build up stuff, but some of them they spend like too long, like 12 minutes on one. I'm like, man, this is getting kind of boring, man. Come on, do something.
And that's another con I get to too, is some of the dinner scenes, especially like the ones we have with Zoe Saldana. Like, I like Zoe Saldana's performance in this, but I felt like her character, they didn't really give her much layer with, along with pretty much, they didn't really give her much to do, because I was more interested with the first half, because with Sienna Miller, I thought was a more fleshed out character, in my opinion.
Yeah, Zoe Saldana, she was really, she's like a big actress, and we get that in the trailers that she's going to be something big in this, and she's kind of really, like you said, in and out, like, in patches.
She's more of just the supporting for Affleck's character. Yeah. Which I understand that's to give the film the impact later on, but I felt like because they didn't really add much to her character, I did have a problem with that, because we had a lot of scenes with him and her, and it just felt like there was no weight to it for me.
Another con I have on here that he hasn't mentioned yet, this kind of bothered me a little bit. A lot of the deaths, even though there's some good ones in here, there was a lot of big time deaths in this film that was not shown but yet explained more.
Yeah.
I can't spoil it, so I can't.
Well, we'll leave it at that. But I get what you're saying.
There were some deaths on here, and instead of going in and showing more the intense, maybe a suspenseful scene, they just explained, this person cut her own throat or killed her, shot herself. I'm like,
yeah.
To me,
I see what you're saying.
Some people may you don't have to see violence all the time, but I think that kind of adds intensity to a film that's being as suspenseful as it's trying to be.
Yeah.
You know,
now
it works.
I get what you're saying. Now, there's one thing I will go back to my pros with. I do like the story they involved with Chris Cooper's character, because Chris Cooper in the film, he plays the chief of police that's in when Affleck's character goes to Florida. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a dark story that involves with this character that centers on his character, and I really enjoyed where it went with. I was like, oh fuck, that's intense.
Yeah, that was intense, and it was pretty sad too. Yeah, I like. You kind of want to cry for his character.
Yeah, so
later in the
so I will say the second half did have that going for it, but I felt like the first half had more weight to it, because the potential they went with in the first half, I felt like they didn't really do much until the last 20 minutes of the movie.
This movie was kind of like a roller coaster. Like, there's a lot of parts that would get good, and then it would fall flat, and then it's like, okay, we're getting something really good, and it's good for a little bit, but then it's like, okay, you're tracking back down the hill again. It's like, it's kind of really roller coaster. You're doing this, and then like once you get to last, say 20 minutes, it's good. It's good. It goes up. Yeah. It was just really patchy and shit. It's like that.
Yeah, so. I get what you're saying with that. But overall, though, I do think that this is a good film. It's definitely the weakest that Ben Affleck has directed so far, but I still give praise for him as a director for the film, because his performance is good, but I was more invested. I was more praising more for his direction than I was his acting. Yeah. But so with that, with the performances and the cinematography, and for where the story was going at first, and the way it did pay off, that I will admit did get to me, I'm going to give the film a 7 out of 10.
Okay. I'm going to go a little lower than Justin. I'm going to go 6.5 out of 10.
Fair enough. Yeah. What did you guys think of Live by Night? Comment below, and if you like what you see here, you can check out more of our reviews here on our channel, and we'll be seeing you in our next review. We'll see you later.
Later.